Are you confused about the direction to take your brand in? Or maybe you're looking to launch a brand, but you don't know where to start? Then you might be ready for a brand workshop. And in this video, I'm going to go over what a brand workshop is and the role that it plays in building your brand. Welcome to Weekly Brand Tips, brought to you by Elements Brand Management. Weekly videos designed to help you unlock your brand's potential so you can stand out from the competition and create impact. Please remember to subscribe using the button below this video, and if you hit the bell notification, you'll be notified every time a new video drops. The three things that we see most often with the people we work with at Elements Brand Management are brands that don't know how to improve their brand. They know they need to improve their brand, but they don't know how to do it. Brands that are confused about who they are, what direction they're headed in, how their strategy is going to pan out and who they're trying to reach, and brands that aren't creating the impact they'd like or standing out from the competition. In this video, I'm going to go over how a brand workshop can help with all these three issues and how it can really define your brand and help you overcome what we call an identity crisis. Why do brands find themselves with these issues? Well, if you have one or more of these main problems that I mentioned before, then you have what we call an identity crisis. And what this is a confused brand or a brand that's out of alignment. Now, some of the reasons that this can happen are due to scaling the business and more people coming into the business, and therefore the brand that crystallized idea gets diluted. It can be because you have not effectively defined your brand at an early enough stage. Sometimes you find that it happens because there is an inconsistency, so you might be using multiple agencies or multiple external contractors that have had touch points on the brand and changed it in different ways. And sometimes it's just a lack of internal communication. So a lot of times the brand will live in the founder's head, and sometimes it hasn't been articulated well enough throughout the team or the internal culture in order to be assimilated out into the audience. And these problems build up and they cause this identity crisis, and it can really have long-lasting effects on your brand. So what is a brand workshop? Well, a brand workshop works with the owner, founder, C-suite, internal team, whoever needs to be involved in this particular workshop in order to do these following four things. So to draw out and define the unique brand and brand platform or core brand. So you want to use the workshop, it should help to define that core brand and build out that brand platform, that foundation that everything else that your brand does stands on. So this is your mission, your vision, your values and your purpose, as well as a lot of other things that come into that particular section of the workshop. It wants to identify your target audience and audience segments, as well as how you're going to differentiate and your positioning. And it wants to look at this and really sort of flesh out those audience segments and buyer personas. It wants to define a clear strategy of how you're going to reach that target audience, how you're going to also reach your goals and objectives, the markers along the way, so how you're going to get from where you are to your main vision, and how you're going to continually build, shape and grow your brand. And it also wants to help you gain clarity around your brand, who you are, where you're going, who you're trying to reach, and how you're going to do all these things, and how you're going to express your brand, so that the visual identity, the brand personality, or at least give you the starting blocks in order to build out those particular things. Comment below and let me know your favorite brand and why. So what impact can a brand workshop have on your brand? Well, each workshop is different, and each workshop is dedicated and defined to the individual brand that you're working on and working with, but it should follow a similar set of steps, and it should do the four things we mentioned previously. An effective brand workshop will impact your brand in the following ways. Improves your internal culture. So when you effectively define your brand's platform, your brand core, so your vision, your mission, your values and your why, what you do is you give your internal team the ability to understand what the brand's all about. So they can communicate it better when they're talking to your audience, or if they're interacting with each other. So the communication internally is a lot better, but also what it does, it helps them have a mission and a vision that they can work towards. So it builds motivation, it builds consistency, and it builds communication. So it helps your internal culture become more cohesive, more aligned, and helps on a daily basis to provide a motivation for that internal team, but also helps them to consistently promote your brand in the right way. Clarity. So one of the biggest things we see from our clients and the takeaways that they have is they have a renewed clarity of their brand. It's almost like a fog has lifted, a haze. It was unclear to them what the brand was before, where they were going and what they're trying to achieve. After the brand workshop, it's like the fog has been cleared and they have a clear sort of vision and a path forward. And that is a really important thing for brands and businesses to have, is this belief and this ability to understand what their brand is. Because once you have that, everything else becomes a lot simpler. So clarity is a massive thing in the business, because a lot of times what you find is people are so confused about their brand that they don't know how to take it forward and they're not entirely sure what it's all about. Improved focus. So this sort of follows on from clarity. Now what you find with clarity, something that goes hand in hand with it, is this improved focus. And what that means is it could be focused on a particular niche, so you understand your audience better than you did before the workshop. But more often than not, what that means is you can be more focused in your business development and your brand building and how you do things. It gives you the power to know what to say no to. So one of the big things from a brand workshop, and one of the takeaways, is you understand your brand so much better and it's so much more well defined that you understand who you're going to be partnering with. You understand how you're going to market your brand, and you understand who you're going to get on board as part of your team. Because you have this renewed clarity, what it does is it gives you the ability to understand what you're trying to achieve and the things that are going to help you to achieve that, and what things aren't. So it really does streamline the process, and it helps massively with internal communications and marketing. Consistency. So if you know who you are, you know where you're going, you know what you're trying to achieve, you have that clarity and you have that focus. What you start to find is when you present your brand, you present it in a consistent manner. Now, if you want to be a memorable brand and stick in the mind of your audience, you have to have consistency. It's no good putting out mixed messages or confused branding, or the way that it looks changes. So you want your visual identity, you want your messaging, and you want your brand's personality or tone of voice to be consistent. And a brand workshop helps you do this by helping you to define and clarify your brand, and also helping you to focus on the areas that you're trying to achieve and the things you're trying to achieve. So consistency is a massive thing that comes out of a brand workshop, and it's something that will continually grow and snowball into building your brand, and it will help your audience to remember your brand in the right way. These are the main ways that a brand workshop can impact a brand. There are many more, but these kind of help to start the process in as much as building out that consistency, getting you clarity on your brand, allowing you to focus more on what you're doing rather than having so many things going on and having that fog, that confusion that surrounds your brand. It also helps to improve your internal culture, and all these things help to build your brand long term. So it's well worth thinking about a brand workshop, and if it's something that you think that you could look at, there is a link in the description below to schedule a call with Elements Brand Management, and we can talk you through whether or not a workshop would be right for you, and also how you can do that and how we could go about maybe helping you do a workshop. If you've enjoyed this episode and you'd like to see more, videos come out weekly and they're designed to help your brand unlock your brand's potential, stand out from the competition, and create more of an impact. Have a great week, catch up soon, and keep those brands unified.